In a short period of time, owner Ricci's colours have become synonymous with national hunt winners at the highest level. Now Ricci's preparing for the 2015 Cheltenham Festival with 3 hot pots: champion hurdle favourite Faugheen, supreme hope Douvan and mare's hurdle contender Annie Power among his armoury.
Michael Djakadam, and on the run up towards the finish, it's going to be yet another 1-2 for Willie Mullins.
They've got 100 yards to go, but Champagne Fever is showing tremendous resolve. Willie Mullins' monopoly on day 2 as Champagne Fever completes the double. Back-to-back great ones for Faugheen, and 7 races unbeaten. Faugheen and Ruby Walsh win by half the track. Vautour will sugarcoat what has been an excellent novice campaign and extend his winning run. It's the outstanding Annie Power, and she will see her season out with a cakewalk win here in the Mayor's Champion Hurdle for the champions, also Ruby Walsh and Willie Mullins.
So we've learnt a little bit about Ricci, but what about the big guns? Champagne Fever's just popped out back in his box for a moment. He'll come back in a minute because he likes to have a nibble at us. An absolute Cheltenham legend already, of course. Bumper, Supreme, and that Arkle defeat that will live with us forever. I still can't believe it.
Me either. I've watched that race seriously about 50 times. If you had told me he wouldn't be leading going over the last and lose, I just wouldn't believe you. But,
well, because we know he stays further.
Yeah.
He jumped brilliantly. He was in a rhythm all the way. And yet he lost. It's just beyond belief.
It's amazing. Anyway, fair play to the winner. But he's fine, and we've got to decide yet on what race for him at Cheltenham, the Champion Chase or the Ryanair. But I don't know. He's in great form anyway. We know he stays. We know 2 miles is trip. His style of running may just be better off at 2 miles than over 2.4. I don't know, but we'll make that decision.
Is he a bit like? For me, he's a bit like Sizing Europe, that in a way he's been tried to make into a Gold Cup horse, but actually he is just a out-and-out 2 1/4, 2.5 specialist.
Yeah, he's stowaway, so you think he would stay, but he certainly didn't stay at Christmas time at Cheltenham. And I think it's the way he runs as well, the way we've taught him how to run. I'm not sure it's certainly a stayer style, so. Maybe that is the case. Maybe that's what he is. But we're certainly not going to go beyond 2.4, that's for sure.
And the better ground at Cheltenham
will help.
The pace of the races, everything seems to be much more suitable for him.
He loves it there, that's right.
So each way in the Champion Chase, he could be bang there.
No runner, no bet.
And Annie Power bowls on now to show 3 to 4 lengths in front. And it's the hot favourite, Annie Power in front. And Annie Power, she's starting now to get away from them. And away she goes, Annie Power and Ruby Walsh. She's gone now 6 in front. It's the outstanding Annie Power. And she will see her season out with a cakewalk win here in the Mayor's Champion Hurdle.
Well, for many, this is the first sight of Annie Power this year. Ricci looks in great shape. All systems go then for Cheltenham?
Yeah, she's back. She had a little bit of a setback earlier in the year. We all were very honest or very upfront about it at Christmas time. She had a little niggle. And she's back at full work. All systems go for the Mayor's Hurdle at Cheltenham.
As arguably your biggest gun, some people might say, how frustrating has it been not seeing her?
Oh, you hate when they're not on the track. It's very frustrating. And, particularly given her record and the caliber of race she always runs, you just think, gosh, wouldn't she be nice to have in the team? It's very frustrating because you're leaving some good prizes behind. But it's great that she's back, and hopefully all systems go for Cheltenham, and then maybe on to Aintree and Punchestown from there.
The World Hurdle does look winnable, although, to be fair, it looked winnable last year as well. But the Mayor's Hurdle is absolutely her target.
I think because it's her first race back, I think that's the right way to go. We'll reserve final judgment, I suppose, until later on in the season, but that's the plan. First race back, probably the right test.
Calgary lengthens away. An impressive win here for Calgary and Ruby Walsh. Another one for the Riccis and Willie Mullins.
Rich Calgary is so impressive first time, and then 2 annoying defeats since. And we still get the feeling that he's better than we're seeing at the moment.
I think I hope that's the case. I think that's how we feel. It's interesting. He's right next to the filly that beat him yesterday. Maybe they had a chat between bars even before the race. No, I haven't given up on him yet. I think that he's had a couple of excuses. He missed a bit of work last week, but he
is fixing it. Look, he is having a chat.
Yeah, there you go.
It could be love.
I think he's a horse that still has a chance in the Triumph. and he certainly looks every bit a chaser, doesn't he? So whatever he does this year, as the cliche goes, is a bonus. But he's a good horse, and we haven't given up on him yet. Hopefully the Triumph Hurdle's his target, and he does well by himself. He is going, isn't he?
Back-to-back great ones for Faugheen, and 7 races unbeaten. Faugheen and Ruby Walsh win by half the track.
Well, for many of you, this is the horse you want to see. This could be the 2015 champion hurdle hero. Here he is, Fahen. And Rich, when you get this close to him, as only a few of us have been lucky to do, you really do see the size and scope of this horse.
Yeah, he's a big horse now, and you know, it is. I think it's interesting that we did decide to keep him over hurdles because he looks a chaser, doesn't he? And he is big, he's tall. And last year it was so hard to keep any condition on him at all. John and everyone's done a great job with him this year. He looks magnificent, doesn't he? Fantastic.
Have a word with John, actually, if I can just squeeze in here. John, what's he look like at home? Is he a calm horse or is he an active horse?
He's relaxed, yeah. He takes everything in stride. You know, he enjoys life. And say very easy to ride, and just does everything easy. You know.
And a horse with no problems.
No, lucky enough. Touch wood, everything will stay right. You know, hadn't had any issues with him, so say everything's going well so far. You know.
And when you come up against a horse like this, can you feel that he's different to other horses, that he's better, or is it? And in what way does he tell you that?
Everything just comes very easy to him. You know, just very relaxed, and when you want to go, he goes. You know, it's
just a proper athlete.
Oh, proper, definitely. You know, one of the best I've ever rode.
Really, and when you sit on him, do you feel the size that we're seeing here?
Yeah. He just feels, you can do anything with him. You know, you just feel invincible on him. Simple as that. You know, he's just very good.
Yeah, I mean, Rich, you know, there's this great battle with Hurricane Fly, but of course it may not be about Hurricane Fly on the day. It could be the new one or something else. I mean, what do you see as the main dangers? Are there any horses you're scared of, or do you think this boy is just the best?
Well, I'm not sure we're scared of anything, but I certainly have the utmost respect for the new one. I remember at Cheltenham a couple of years ago when he was stuffed. He stuffed Ponce Alexander, who went there as the be-all and end-all. No one thought he could be beat. So. Well, we'll see. I mean, I've got a lot of confidence in the horse. He's certainly done nothing wrong. He looks fantastic. And, yeah, I go there with some confidence, but also the utmost respect for our competition.
And it's a record-breaking 6 Thyestes for Willie Mullins, and hard to believe a first for Ruby Walsh as Djakadam is clear in the Goffs Thyestes.
Next up, it's Djakadam, who's promised much and finally delivered, Rich, in that Thyestes chase, and just showed us why you've always maintained that this is a horse for the future.
Yeah, he was an okay hurdler. You know, he was of that class of hurdlers that I had that year. He wouldn't have been top of the class, but he's turned out to be the best of the chasers. Blood Couture was in that class, and Dagora. And he, we expected a lot from him, probably too much in the Hennessy. Thinking back on it, we should have given him a run. We thought we were going to get a run into it, but we didn't. And we just took the chance that off that weight, he might just be able to do it. But clearly he was a bit short of fitness on the day and blew up, because 6 from home, I thought he was going to win, frankly. But it was great to see him come back in the Thyestes and win it. And I'm delighted that at the races, Bertie Garrity thinks he's the one to beat. So that makes me feel good. But look, it's a tough race, but it's great to have a runner with a chance, isn't it?
And he was a horse, anyone who watches the 2014 Cheltenham Festival, I mean, when he came down, he was absolutely cruising, wasn't he? I mean, he was looking like an absolute good thing at that stage.
We talked before, you and I remember when you asked me, was I gutted when any power lost? I was more gutted when he actually fell down, because I thought he was cruising and was going to win his race. But these things happen. Hopefully not the same mistake this year.
It's a wide open Gold Cup, isn't it?
It is. I think it's very wide open. And any one of 5, 6, 7, 8 could win it. So,
Ruby confident about stamina?
Yeah, I think so now. I think that ground was very, very testing on the day at Gordon. And Gordon would be stiff enough now. And, getting that trip in the way he did, I think, kind of puts the stamina doubts out of our heads.
And for those who are concerned, and people call him all sorts of different names, not Djakadam, you call him Djakadam.
I call him Djakadam, but I might have the accent on the wrong syllable. I don't know, maybe I do.
We'll go with what you want,
right.
Djakadam then, for the
go.
Gold Cup for Ricci.
Alexander, Bordini, too big, Vroom Vroom Mag.
Rich, this is Vroom Vroom Mag, who's in the middle of eating, so she could disappear at any moment, but
Yeah.
she's just looked so special.
Yeah, she's done everything right we've asked her, hasn't she? She's been great. She jumps really, really well. She stays a trip. I don't think we've seen the best of her yet either. And she's taken on her own sex, so I think we'll step her at some point up against the boys. But she's done really well, and there's a great mares program over here in Ireland. So, but she could be a Cheltenham candidate. She could go for the RSA. She could also, depends what Don Poley does, I suppose. She could also go for the 4-mile National Hunt Chase. Patrick would love to give her a spin, I imagine. I don't think the trip would be a problem, but she's
Would you want to run her
good.
over that far at this stage? She could be almost better than that, couldn't she?
I know what you're saying, I suppose. RSA is probably the logical choice, but there's also, as I was mentioning, that mares program, there's a great race in Limerick, I think on the 15th of March, another grade 2 that she could go for as well. Oops, sorry, girl, well done. That she could go for as well. But I'd like to have her take a chance. We took Pom Teepee there, I think in 2008, and she was going really, really well, and she fell coming down the hill in the RSA. But it's an open race as well this year, I think. It's winnable, and she'd be a candidate.
Would it be ridiculous to suggest that this could just possibly be a Gold Cup mare?
I don't think that's ridiculous. I mean, clearly there's a lot more to do to get to that level and prove that she is capable. But sure, she jumps brilliantly, and I think so. It's interesting because Pom Teepee was the same. It's hard for some of these mares to go on after that novice season. The competition is so tough, but she's one that she's got a bit of class about her. She could possibly be.
Well, she gives us such a lovely background. Let's just chat about Vautour, because I don't know if he's been disappointing this season, really, because he's won 2 out of 3 and he had one blip. But what do you make of him so far?
Oh, I think he's fine. I think he has excuses at Christmas. The other day, there seemed to be a debate between Willie and Ruby as to how he jumped. One thought he jumped really well, one didn't. One thought he was a bit sticky, but he was certainly impressive that first time out, and we haven't seen him since, but he's in good form. I haven't lost any confidence in him at all. Everybody can have an off day. He had one at Christmas, and I'm hoping he'll come do the business at Cheltenham, either in the JLT or in the Arkle. But he's still a horse to look forward to a lot, I think. I haven't lost confidence in him at all.
Willie, of course, will keep his options open because, a little injury to Underso, and Vautour would be presumably straight into the Arkle. I know you feel, or at least Ruby feels, that the Vautour will stay further, but is there none of you that feels it would be quite nice to take on Underso, and the JLT could be much more competitive in terms of numbers? Yeah,
the JLT is a good race this year. The Arkle could very well cut up.
Go on, Rich, take on Underso.
Well, he's a hell of a machine, and I'm not afraid of him. But, again, coming from the same yard, why would you run them against each other if you don't have to? And it's not that we're trying to avoid each other, but I think there is a feeling that Vautour needs a trip rather than just could get a trip. I think there's a feeling that he needs a trip. And while he could drop back to 2, he's got the pace for it. I think 2.5 around Cheltenham should suit.
Go on, Rich, go for it. Come on. Look, think of your history.
It would be a great spectacle.
You keep saying you won't avoid things, but you didn't run Annie in the champion hurdle. You didn't run Faugheen against Hurricane Fly so far. Why not go for it? Vautour against Underso would be one of the races of the meeting.
Well, they're both Grade 1 races. Why would you do that? I mean, if you
want to be best of the best, don't you? You don't want to be.
but
JLT's not considered as good as the Arkle and the RSA. Are the big two, aren't they? The JLT's and added on
I
race.
suppose JLT's is a new race. I wouldn't say added on. That is another Grade 1. And no, I think it's a great race, and I think it could be a lot more competitive in the Arkle this year. Look, we'll see. We're closer to the day. We don't know.
You're not going to decide right now.
No, absolutely not. Why would we?
And Douvan has, for many people, looked like a banker. The Irish banker in the Supreme is famous, isn't it? The roar goes up, the Irish horse scoots in, and Douvan will probably, I guess, take on Nichols Canyon. But Douvan looks just a bit special.
He does. He's got a lot of class about him, I think. He is a horse that's gone really, really well so far. The Supreme's a tough race. We've been very fortunate to win it the last 2 years. Be unbelievable to win it 3 times in a row, and probably a bit lucky. I assume that's where he goes, but I think he could also stay a trip. So, again, we'll sort things out as we get closer, but that looks like the race for him. And I think that he must go there with a great chance.
It's all about feelings in the camp, but from what I can gather, the mood around the Mullins yard is that Douvan is, could be the great hope for the future.
Well, I think so. I think we were very hopeful of Ali Colombier earlier in the season as being the best novice in the yard, and Nichols Canyon's gone and done it twice now with Grade 1s, and Alvisioville and Douvan. I think they're all in the mix, but certainly there seems to be a lot of confidence around our fella in Douvan, and hopefully he can do it at Cheltenham.
I've had a couple of questions, Rich. A lot of people would love to see Pont Alexandra again. What's the latest on that horse?
Pont, I think, as everybody know, did a leg a couple of years ago, right after Cheltenham, or even maybe it wasn't in the race at Cheltenham, I don't know. But he is back. He's back in full work. He's had a little bit of a setback, so I'm not sure he'll make Cheltenham. That might be a bit tight, but hopefully we'll have him back for Punchestown. And I imagine we'll probably keep him over hurdles this year, so late in the season, and go back over fences next year. But he's still one really to look forward to. He looks great. He looks a picture. I don't know if you had a chance to see him earlier today, but he is back in full work. Cheltenham might just come a bit too soon, but no, he's certainly one that I'm looking forward to coming back as well.
And all our viewers want to know which is the best bumper horse in the Mullins yard. You probably can't tell us that, but of your bumper horses, which are the 2 or 3 that you're most excited about?
I think the pecking order in my mind for our horses would be Bordini, who's won his 2 races. I think you'd have to put Pyle on the pressure there after his win on Saturday. He was quite good. A Court de Tour, I think, could be anything. I'm not sure what he beat. He's one of those horses that just does enough. Would sometimes turn out to be the best, but they're not going to be too flashy. If he works with a great horse, he goes really well. If he works with some of the lesser horses, he just does enough to win. So I think he's still a bit of an unknown. Turkoglu is another one that could go. We could have 4 or 5 bumper horses this year. We're very fortunate, but I think Bordini's still at the top of the pile.